Meyer here, and I'm going to talk to you today about Facebook Insights, one of the most powerful tools that's free that you can use to help you understand how to be more effective in how you're using the Facebook application to be able to drive more business, to generate more profits, to grow your network, to share your message. Facebook Insights is truly invaluable when it comes to understanding what you're doing on your site. For those of you who have never heard of Facebook Insights before, it's a bunch of data that comes in a form of a series of views that I'll walk you through in a few minutes. But these views are bar charts and line charts and different types of visualizations of data that allow you to understand what's happening in your business, right? How many people come to your page, how many views, how many likes, where's the reach going to, what's your engagement level like? All this terminology about all these metrics are things that you need to have some understanding for. Even if you don't have a deep understanding of how data analysis works, you can use the Facebook Insights just to see trends, to be able to understand what's going on with your Facebook page. This is super important because Facebook Insights is something that I look at every day. And I've helped develop a plan, a system basically, that with my team we're able to really develop a strategy for marketing around how to optimize our Facebook usage using the data from Insights to make sure that we're targeting to exactly who we want to target to. We're giving them the exact kind of message that's going to resonate with them. We're giving them things at the time and in the format that they want. And we're able to track our success of all our marketing programs. When we do a Facebook ad or we do different types of marketing initiatives, we can look at the data to see if it's working or not. And this is super important because if you're not doing that, you're kind of guessing, right? You're using your gut to tell you what you should do best when it comes to using Facebook. And for companies that are really optimizing use of Facebook, they're really, really deep into the data. And they know exactly what they should do. And they use the data to constantly validate their choices and to help them predict what to do next. So a little bit about myself and why this is important to me is that for most of you know that I'm a data guy, that most of my career I've spent working in data. I've worked for Wells Fargo for 15 years and I set up my own business about 10 years ago and I've been working in data ever since. I actually, besides doing virtual staffing and doing these coaching and trainings for businesses, I also have done quite a bit of teaching and corporate training when it comes to using data analysis or analytics for businesses to be able to make better decisions. And this is super important because right now, data is the most valuable commodity in the world. Data is more valuable than gold or oil. In fact, they say that data is the new oil, and that companies that know how to take advantage of the data they have in their business are able to make choices that are so much quicker, so much more accurate, make the wrong choice so less. And they're able to really be able to get out there and be predictive and be proactive and do things that most businesses are not doing because they understand how to get the value out of data. If you need proof of that, just look at the Fortune 500 top companies. Look at the top 10 companies from 2020 compared to the top 10 companies from 2000. In that 20 years, you're going to see a huge shift from companies that were traditionally energy companies, oil companies, and banks controlled the market 20 years ago. Now all the top companies are data companies. They're online companies. They're companies that have built their entire business model off of the use of data. We're talking Amazon and Uber and Google and Facebook and Microsoft. They have figured out how to monetize the data they have. They have turned that data into their oil to run their business decision making. And that's what I want you to figure out how to do with Facebook. That's the first start, right? So what you want to be able to do is take this data that Facebook gives you about your page for free, and then it helps you be informed to make better decisions. And you got to start with this, and you got to really make sure that you're using Facebook effectively because it's just a tip of the iceberg. Every app out there that you use to connect with people in social media has built-in analytics tools. Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, they all have data that show you what you should be able to do with your decision making if you follow the data. And this amount of information we have every day is massive and it's massively disruptive. In fact, we talk about how this big data is a wave of disruption that's disrupting businesses that don't get it or are old-fashioned or aren't data-driven. They're being massively disrupted by companies that are data savvy. Take, for example, the taxi industry, right? Traditionally, when you wanted to hail a ride, a taxi, you had no real knowledge of what you're getting yourself into. You would hope that the taxi driver would take you where you want to go. You would hope they wouldn't overcharge you or go a long route to get extra money out of you. You would hope that they're safe, that they're reputable. When you even get into the car, you have no idea when you open that door what to expect. Is it clean? Is there food in there? Is there like a bunch of junk? Is it just nasty? You don't know any of that when you were to hail a taxi. But if you use an app like Uber, you know all that stuff before you even get in the car. You know exactly how long it's going to take you to get there. You know exactly the route they're going to take to get there. You know the price it's going to cost. You know a history of the driver based on their ratings. You can even look at the driver profile and decide if this is someone that you feel safe with, and you can have a choice of not to take that ride. Right? These are things that data gives you the access to that Uber has used to massively disrupt the way that we get around, especially big cities, by using Uber or Lyft instead of using taxis. So that's an example of disruption. Facebook can do the same for you. If you're using your Facebook insights and designing your marketing programs to be effective through Facebook, then you're going to be much more nimble and much more accurate than your competitors. Everyone right now is trying to figure out how to go online and how to do their business online and how to connect with their market online and how to understand their audience's wants and needs online. And if you're not doing that with Facebook Insights, then you're really leaving yourself a huge blind spot. You're probably going to be one of those ones that end up being disrupted because you're not adapting to the times. You're not able to optimize your data. And that can be very, very dangerous. So you really want to make sure that you're on top of your data and using Facebook Insights.